Imagine North London. The roar of the crowd, the sea of red and white, the palpable tension. This is more than just a football match. This is the North London Derby, a rivalry so fierce it divides families, friends, and an entire city. But have you ever wondered where this deep-seated hatred really comes from? The answer might surprise you. It wasn't born on the pitch. It was born in boardrooms, across borders, and steeped in a century of bitterness. Let's rewind. Before the hate, these two clubs had their own distinct origins. Tottenham Hotspur, founded in 1880 by a group of schoolboys, were the pride of North London. They were the original kings of the area, winning the FA Cup as a non-league side in 1901, a feat that has never been repeated. Their identity was forged in the heart of Tottenham, a club for the local community. Meanwhile, miles away in the south of London, another club was making its name. Wiginou Arsenal of Montreal was founded in 1886. They were a South London club through and through, with no connection to the northern part of the city whatsoever. For decades, their paths rarely crossed in any meaningful way. Tottenham were North London's team, that was just a fact. But in 1913, everything changed. Facing financial trouble and dwindling crowds in Plumstead, Woolwich Arsenal's ambitious and rather ruthless chairman, Sir Henri Norris, made a controversial decision. He decided to move the club north, right into Tottenham's backyard. He found a piece of land in Highbury, just 4 miles from Tottenham's White Hart Lane. Spurs and other local clubs were furious. They protested, arguing that North London was their territory. But Norris's influence and deep pockets won the day. Arsenal had arrived, uninvited, and the seeds of rivalry were sown. This wasn't just a geographical dispute, it was an invasion. But the move was just the beginning. The real moment of betrayal, the event that cemented a century of animosity, came in 1919. Football was resuming after the First World War, and the First Division was being expanded from 20 to 22 teams. Tottenham had finished 20th in the last season before the war, which would normally mean relegation. Chelsea, who finished 19th, were allowed to stay up due to a match-fixing scandal involving other teams. So, one spot was left. By all logic and precedent, the spot should have gone to Tottenham. The team that finished 20th, or perhaps Barnsley, who had finished 3rd in the 2nd Division. But Sir Henry Norris had other plans. Through backroom dealings and whispered promises, he campaigned relentlessly for Arsenal, who had only finished a miserable 6th in the 2nd Division, to be promoted instead. The details are murky, filled with rumors of secret handshakes and political maneuvering. Norris gave a compelling, if deeply flawed, speech to the Football League bosses, arguing for Arsenal's promotion based on their longer history in the league, conveniently ignoring their recent poor performance. Against all odds, the vote went in Arsenal's favour. They were promoted, and Tottenham were relegated. It was a decision that reeked of injustice. Spurs fans felt robbed, cheated out of their place in the top flight by their new, unwelcome neighbours. This was the ultimate betrayal. The rivalry was no longer about territory. It was now personal, built on a foundation of perceived corruption. From that day forward, the identities of the two clubs diverged, almost as if defined in opposition to each other. Arsenal under visionary managers like Herbert Chapman and later Arsene Wenger, became synonymous with success and innovation. They collected league titles and FA Cups, building a reputation as one of England's super clubs. They were the establishment, the polished, successful giants. Their success was built on ruthless efficiency and a winning mentality, personified by the 1-0 to the Arsenal chants of the George Graham era. Tottenham, on the other hand, cultivated a different identity. While major trophies were less frequent, they became known for their flair and style. The Spurs way was about entertainment, glorious football, and moments of breathtaking magic. Think of the push and run side of the 50s, the double-winning team of 61, or the dazzling skills of players like Glenn Hoddle and Paul Gascoigne. For Spurs fans, it was about the glory of the game itself, not just the result. It was success versus soul, trophies versus thrills. Arsenal had the silverware, but Tottenham claimed to have the soul. And nothing, absolutely nothing, tastes sweeter in this rivalry than inflicting pain on enemy ground. Arsenal fans have had the ultimate bragging rights not once, but twice. In 1971, they secured the league title at White Hart Lane on the final day of the season. The image of their players celebrating on the pitch as Spurs fans looked on in horror is etched into the rivalry-esque folklore. Then, as if to twist the knife further, they did it again in 2004. The legendary Invincibles team, undefeated all season, officially won the Premier League title at the home of their fiercest rivals. For Spurs, it was the ultimate humiliation. For Arsenal, it was pure ecstasy. As we moved into the 21st century, the rivalry entered a new era of modern warfare. The old grounds of Highbury and White Hart Lane were replaced by magnificent, state-of-the-art arenas, the Emirates Stadium and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. These new cathedrals of football became the battlegrounds for a new generation of players and fans. The derbies became faster, more global, and arguably more intense than ever before. Epic clashes featuring legends like Thierry Henry and Sol Campbell, whose controversial move from Spurs to Arsenal is a story in itself against. The likes of Harry Kane and Heung-min Son have defined the modern era. Every tackle, every goal, every celebration carries the weight of a century of history. This rivalry is unique. It wasn't forged through epic cup finals or decades-long title races. It was born from a boardroom decision, a border dispute, and a bitter sense of betrayal in 1919. It is a story of an invader who became a king and a local hero who has been fighting to reclaim his crown ever since. And the story is far from over. In recent years, the power dynamic has shifted back and forth. Under Mauricio Pochettino, of Arsenal, a feat celebrated as St. Totteringham's Day finally being cancelled. But Arsenal have roared back under Mikel Arteta, winning an FA Cup and challenging for the league title. The battle for North London supremacy rages on, as intense as ever. There's always unfinished business. Every season is a new chapter in this century-old saga of success, soul, and deep-seated animosity. One thing is for sure, in North London, the past is never dead. It's not even past. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of football's greatest rivalries, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories from the world of football.